Gates and doors were barred and all the windows fastened down. I spent the night in sleeplessness and rose at every sound, half in hopeless sorrows and half in fear the day would find the soldiers breaking through to drag us all away. But then just before the sunrise, I heard something at the wall. The gate began to rattle and a voice began to call. So I hurried to the window, I looked down into the street, expecting swords and torches and the sound of soldiers' feet. But there was no one there but Mary, so I went down to let her in. John stood there beside me as she told us where she'd been. She said they moved him in the night, but none of us knows where. The stone's been rolled away, now his body, it isn't there. So we both ran toward the garden, and John ran on ahead. We found the stone and the empty tomb just the way that Mary said. But the winding sheet they'd wrapped him in was just an empty shell, and how or where they'd taken him was more than I could tell. Something strange had happened there, just what I didn't know. John believed a miracle, but I just turned to go. Circumstance and speculation couldn't lift me very high, 'cause I'd seen them, they crucified him, and I saw him die. But back inside the house again, the guilt and anguish came, and everything I had promised him added to my shame. When at last it came to choices, I denied I knew his name. For even if he was alive, it wouldn't be the same. But then suddenly the air was filled with a strange and sweet perfume. Light that came from everywhere drew shadows from the room.